I had no idea the British press was so bigoted.
This one's wife. Call me ma'am. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. A prince walks down the street, he says, why am I soft in the head now? Why am I soft in the head when the rest of my life is so hard? She needs a photo opportunity. I want to play Red Dead Redemption. Don't want to end up in another cartoon. In a PR graveyard. Gold digger, paps in the moonlight. Long lenses near my well-lit door. Mr. Brain Jelly, get these paps away from me. You know I don't find this stuff amusing anymore. If you'll shag your bodyguard, I can sit and eat some jam. I can call you mistress, and mistress, when they call you, they can call you ma'am. Yes, my impromptu extempore reworking of You Can Call Me Al, which was written and sung by Paul Simon alongside Chevy Chase a number of years ago. And although Paul Simon said you can call me Al, this one's wife is saying you can call me ma'am. Not ma'am, ma'am. How so? Well, it's as a consequence of, once again, her grandiosity. Lauren Welch, who is the royal reporter based in London for The Express, tells us, this one's wife tells Invictus Games officials to call me ma'am. This one's wife has confirmed how officials at the Invictus Games should correctly address her. I suppose there must have been some confusion because people would have perhaps thought, do I announce your Royal Griffness or Skank or Chairman Mao, depending upon what she's wearing. And thus, I suppose some official guidance would be required to enable her to understand, to enable her to be addressed appropriately. Her response apparently was far from what a former senior royal would be referred to. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex are currently on the grift, ligging it about in Canada for the one-year countdown event for next year's Invictus Games in Vancouver and Whistler. When speaking to Scott Moore, who is a veteran Canadian broadcaster and the new CEO for the Invictus Games, the couple are said to have clarified exactly how he is to address them. Oh, you could just call me just Harry. That's what she does, or this one. I don't mind. But please don't taser my balls. They're pretty tender, is probably what Harry said. Whilst this one's wife most likely will have sauntered over and said, you can call me your Supreme Excellence, Empress of Woke, Queen of Canada, most illustrious bringer of fortitude and peace wherever I go, influencer and most influential woman in the world. Isn't that a bit of a mouthful, was most likely the response. Okay, you can call me ma'am. As revealed in Richard Eden's column for the Daily Mail, Mr. Moore said, I did make sure to ask how I should be addressing them when they get here. I was told a simple sir and ma'am is fine. So our ever so down-to-earth saint that's all about the hugs and isn't interested in titles and doesn't want all of that protocol and flummery still insists on being addressed as ma'am. So once again, she utilizes the privilege that comes from the family that she joined, but a family that she wants nothing to do with. The old hypocritometer has exploded once again. The Express continues by telling us the monikers are how members of the public are instructed to greet members of the royal family. Male members of the firm should not be addressed as "Oi, you," but greeted "Your Royal Highness" in the first instance, and subsequently "Sir." For female members, it's "Are you a gold digger, this one's wife?" Oh no, it's Your Royal Highness and then Ma'am. But Harry and this one's wife cannot be referred to as Your Royal Highness, as following their decision to step down as senior working royals, they were stripped of their HRH titles. They were, however, allowed to keep their Duke and Duchess of Sussex title. And if you'd like to understand more about the position with regard to those titles, do watch my recent video, Strip the Titles, which provides you with a brilliant breakdown of how the titles could be removed and the difficulties faced in relation to some of them, namely the peerages, which is the dukedom, the earldom and the barony, and how in other instances it would be quite easy to remove certain other titles. I make reference to a fantastically clear and incisive breakdown prepared by a member of the Middle Temple. Do watch that. The decision to be addressed as Sir and Ma'am is also in stark contrast to Harry's decision in 2020, when he asked for delegates at a tourism conference in Edinburgh to address him simply as Harry. Ahead of the short speech, event host Ayesha Hazarika told the gathering, "He's made it clear that we are all just to call him Harry." This one's wife and Harry are on a 3-day faux tour to Canada and will be staying there until Friday, February the 16th. During their visit, the couple are set to meet veterans and members of the armed forces as a side issue from having a few days away from the kids again and allowing them to do some merching of clothing, ponce about in restaurants, undertake some photo opportunities, and generally attempt to relaunch for the 732nd time their brand. The area is familiar territory to the couple, who first moved to Canada after stepping down as working royals in 2020. That's right, Express, because after all, if you've lived in Toronto, you know the whole of Canada, because it's only an itsy-bitsy teeny tiny country, isn't it? Fucking clowns. The Duchess of Sussex also lived in Canada while filming for the legal drama Suits. Had to get that in there, where she portrayed the character of Rachel Zane. Their visit to Canada also marks their first engagement together since the launch of their brand new website, sussex.com, earlier this week. On February the 14th, the couple spent Valentine's Day hitting the slopes, with body language expert Judy James claiming that it was this one's wife taking centre stage. No shit, Sherlock. You don't need to be a body language expert to realise she was taking centre stage. The upcoming 2025 Games will feature various events, including snowboarding, alpine skiing, wheelchair curling and skeleton. Harry and this one's wife's latest appearance also comes just over a week after news of King Charles' cancer diagnosis. Thus, the Express telling us a bit again about what they're up to, but the main point being that this one's wife demonstrates her grandiosity and how the narcissist needs status where it's available because it allows her to control other people, and therefore the supposedly down-to-earth, I'm not interested in titles woman insists that she be known as Ma'am. Hypocrite as usual. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.